Hello, Adley. I am so glad you're here. Before we get started, how about you introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Adley Cloth. I am 30 years old, and over the last year, I have moved from the East Coast of Washington, D.C., over now to the West Coast in Los Angeles, California. I was with the government for a little over 8 years and have recently transitioned into the private sector.
How exciting. And we're going to learn more about that. But let's just dive into the question. So, first things first, if we were to rewind the tape before you joined Find Your Job Joy, where were you? What was going on?
Absolutely. So, where I was before Job Joy is I felt very unsure of myself and where I was kind of at in my career path. So, I had been, as I said, at the same government organization for about 8 years, and I'd been, making all the promotions, working as hard as I absolutely could. And I knew that I was ready for a change. But I just didn't at the time have the courage or even really know how and where to start or had, any sort of set of directions. So I found myself, aimlessly Googling and reading things, but never really following through. And so when I first heard about your LinkedIn challenge, that was the 5-day challenge, that sort of was a game changer for me to see all the benefits I could have by committing certain amounts of time to really start updating things. So it really was just that one small step that was a quick win for me to see that I can make changes and start getting a little more courage and belief in myself to make the next step and learn more about myself and what I want.
I love that. I don't know if I knew that you did the LinkedIn challenge or that. I did. You won. You were a surprise winner, weren't you?
I was.
Of your Starbucks card, which you used when you were getting your new job.
Yes.
Full circle. Okay, amazing. And so you took the program, and what has changed? So physically, of course, like in circumstances, but also in how you're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I am actually in a new job, and
Woohoo! Congrats.
one of the things that really was a big fear factor for me in leaving the government is I knew that I had really good benefits, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't have those same benefits. But in finding a position that really was for me, I'm actually now making not only more money, which is great, but wasn't my main, goal in doing the job search. But I actually have even greater benefits than before, which I didn't even think was possible.
Yeah.
But really, what I learned through the program is I learned more about myself and what I want and what I don't want out of my career and, frankly, my life as a whole. And so by putting in the work that I did through Find Your Job Joy, I was able to learn through asking myself those tough questions, those questions that I had been avoiding, those questions that I had been putting off and using as an excuse to aimlessly Google and just try to find the answers. I was trying to find the answers where you helped me find that the answers were just always in myself, ready to be
Yes.
discovered.
Yes. I love that. That is just such, I want to underline and highlight, right? Like, no one can tell you the answers. And if they tell you they can, you should run in the other direction, right?
Yes. Yes.
You want to learn that skill of how do I find out what I really want? What is success to me? And so, of course, you landed the job, but you also negotiated like a boss. I mean, through the whole process. And then tell us, which you didn't mention, how are you liking the new job? How is it different?
I I mean, not to be cheesy, but I literally have found my job joy. I am so happy in my new job. So I am excited to go to work in the morning. And so what that means is I get up and I'm excited to start the day. I am not at all dreading going to work. And I remember one of the activities and questions that we had to ask ourselves is, what is our perfect day? And this is going to seem so small, but it's made all the difference. In my perfect day scenario, I had actually written work out in the morning. And truly, I, before work every day since I've started my new job, with some few exceptions when I just needed like a healthy break, I have actually made it into my new routine to work out every day. And that mentally has just been such a positive game changer as well. And I do think the other thing too is when you and I first spoke together, it was the first time that I really had felt heard and understood, even though we didn't really know each other at the time. But I just had this gut feeling that overwhelmingly told me that this was going to be the right thing for me.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. Beautiful. And what else did I want to ask you? Any surprises, ahas, takeaways from the program that either you expected or maybe you didn't?
Yeah, so I've kind of hinted at it, so I'm gonna drive it all the way home, is find your job joy is not just about the job. The bigger aha moment that I had was it's much bigger than your job. It's about finding your own joy and how that translates, frankly, into all aspects of your life. Going through this program has forced me to be honest with myself. And I realized that there were a lot of different things that I just was putting in the back of my head and not addressing. And the program has really brought everything out into the light for me to really handle and help give me positive direction. And I feel like now I can tackle any problem that comes my way. I now have the confidence in myself to move forward in my career, to move forward in relationships that I have with loved ones. And I think that's been even more so, like, the getting a new job was a huge benefit, but the mental benefits have so much outweighed that. I just feel so more grounded in my life, even though not everything is worked out. Like, I don't have all the answers, but I
Yeah,
definitely have a good, and I may never have all the answers, but
you
what I've
won't.
learned through the program is that it's okay to not have all the answers.
I love that on so many levels. And that's kind of my secret, right? Career is sort of the portal when you realize I can design my career, I can make this happen. Then you realize I can do that in all of my life.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
my little sneaky secret, which now I suppose is not a secret. Amazing. And last question for anyone who's thinking about joining the program, maybe they're on the fence, they're not sure if it's for them. What advice would you give them?
The first advice tidbit I would give is listen to your gut, because for me, my gut was telling me yes, and my gut led me in the right direction. I think the next piece of advice that I would give to anybody thinking about find your job joy is the best investment you can make is the investment you make in yourself. And that there is absolutely no price tag on that whatsoever. The investment in yourself is the kind that's going to keep reaping benefits forever and ever. So just be prepared to do the work. You're not going to get anything out of it if you're not putting in the work. And so what I found myself doing is through all the different sessions that we had, the benefit of it being recorded is I could always go back and re-listen to things. And I don't think I've actually told you this.
Uh-oh.
I actually have any of the questions that you asked us, even if it was just like a one-off question in passing, I wrote down all of the questions that you asked us and I answered every single one of them, especially
Wow.
on clarity,
Yeah.
because the truth of the matter is you really have to answer those questions about yourself. And that's why Find Your Job Joy is more than just your career. It's about finding the joy within yourself.
I love it. That is just perfect. The way you worded that. And it's true, right? It's so hard sometimes just to be honest with ourselves. And I think some of us make it very late in life without asking ourselves, what do I actually want? What's
Yeah.
actually going to make me happy, not what's going to make everyone else happy, or what should I do, or blah, blah, blah. Right. So just I'm honoring you for having the courage to go there and to do the work and to ask the tough questions, and first and foremost being honest with yourself and then going after it.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for everything. Truly.
Oh, Adley, thank you. And thank you for being here and sharing your story. And I will see you really soon. Bye.
Bye.